Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going? Welcome to part 2. If you made it from part 1, hey, congratulations. Thank you for sticking by. So this second part is basically just going to be me interviewing the owner of this retro game store called Regen. Again, if you want to go check them out, they're at the Towson Mall in the state of Maryland. And yeah, I mean, if you want to go there in real life, the prices are low depending on what you're looking for. Everybody's cool. They get arcade machines and shit. So if you want to, go check them out. One more thing before we start this thing. Unfortunately, there was a lot of background noise that I couldn't really fix. Obviously, we're at a mall, so there's a lot of background noise. They have arcade machines running, you have people going in and out, so there's a lot of background noise. Plus, we were wearing a mask, which doesn't really help the situation either. What I'm saying is I'm gonna try my best to make it as clean as possible, even though you're still gonna hear a lot of unnecessary background noise, but my apologies if you don't really like it. It is what it is. But if you're seeing this, hopefully things turned out fine. Either way, enough rambling for me. Let's get started with the interview. Hey, what's up? How's it going? I'm with the owner of Regen right now. How's it going?
Going good, going good.
Good to hear. So just before we start, I've been a fan of you guys since you guys first opened. You know, I'm just gonna say this, like, without you guys, I wouldn't really have a collection.
Cool.
And yeah, I've been following you guys since you first opened. Now I have a lot of questions in mind. Is that okay with you?
Yep, right whenever you are.
Alright. By the way, my apologies for the background noise at all. Alright, so I guess the first question is, what made you want to open a retro game store?
It's always been something I really liked. I remember going to the mall with my mom when I was a kid and being like bored beyond belief. I always thought it'd be really cool to have somewhere that I would want to go.
I see that. Alright, what's your opinion on the current retro game market right now?
I think it's crazy and unsustainable.
Yeah, most definitely.
There's a lot of things that are like shooting through the roof and they don't really have any reason to be that expensive, but I mean, I guess people have money, so whatever. But it'll probably come back down again. I don't know by how much. I know a lot of the stuff is probably gonna stay pretty high, like the things everybody knows about, like Earthbound and things like that. But I think generally it would get a little bit more reasonable.
Yeah, I see that. So I see a lot of GameCube and PS2 stuff going up in price into
Yeah.
So I kind of expected that, since my generation, has disposable income. And
No,
stuff
exactly. Yeah, it takes like 20 years.
Like that. Yeah. Now another question: what advice do you have for somebody that's just starting out?
And like collecting or
Yeah, just collecting.
honestly, just be smart with your money.
Yeah.
Just because you super duper want a specific thing doesn't mean you should pay a lot for it, especially when it wasn't worth that much 6 months ago. Just be on the lookout for deals, but at the same time, realize that some of the stuff you're only going to see so many times, so you have to kind of weigh the pros and cons.
Most definitely, and I would just recommend collect what you're nostalgic for. Like me, I grew up with the PS2, GameCube, the Xbox, and that's what I'm currently collecting for. And it's kind of getting better with the PS2 and the GameCube stuff, but where everybody's going this way, you should go that way. So I've been collecting N64 and I've been collecting N64 and PS1 stuff. So
Yeah, it's kind of all over the place.
yeah. Alright, now what's running a retro game store like? Is there a lot involved?
Yeah, I'm busy. We make a pretty big effort to make sure everything's like clean and test everything, and that's probably most of what we all do here, aside from like checking everybody out. I do a little bit of repair work. We like buff out discs, and that takes a while. Everything has to be organized, clean, tested. That really is most of the job, just the back end.
Yeah, most definitely.
Sometimes things are really dirty.
Now, what's your opinion on game hunting / thrifting? Like I've been doing it. Well, I guess a lot of people have been doing a lot of thrifting lately, and yeah, what's your stance on it?
So that's what I grew up doing. That's how I got most of my collection for like really cheap, like a long time ago. Goodwill puts a lot of their stuff online now because they have like a web store, and they kind of know better than to leave video games out on like most Goodwill shops will take anything that's not like a sports game and throw it online. So that's kind of dead. Yard sales used to be really great, but now everybody has eBay in their pocket. So they see that, oh, this game I have, someone tried to sell it for $60, so I'm gonna try to sell it for $60. But most people online might only be selling it for 20. So there's kind of a, I don't know. It's gotten worse. It's gotten a lot harder to find like things for like dirt cheap.
Yeah,
You can still get lucky, especially with yard sales, but it's hard to go around doing that all the time.
yeah. All right. Next question. What's your opinion on the Mario 64 auction where it sold for like $1 million?
So I think a lot of that is like I kid you not, like money laundering. Like it seems a little obtuse, and I don't really get it. I know the guys who do a lot of the grading, like when you see something in like a sealed like box with like a grade on it. The one of the companies that does that is like kind of shady, and they try to do the same thing with coins back in the 80s if you look up the owners. So there's a little bit of a willful inflation of prices because it profits them as sellers. So of course they're going to convince everybody that things are worth a lot because they make more money doing it. I don't really. I think games are for playing more than sitting on a shelf personally. So I'd like things to be cheaper.
Yeah, most definitely. When it comes to grading, I mean, I get it. You know, some games definitely need to be graded, like Super Mario Bros. 3 complete in box sealed.
It's cool. It's like the sealed stuff, yeah, because no one's gonna open it anyway. But like, you're gonna spend how much money to have like a thing that's just gonna sit on the shelf? I don't know. I've never been about that personally. I get why people are, but
Yeah.
it's only if you have like money that is really like unreasonable. I don't know.
Alright, next question. What console do you think will be like the most valuable in a few years? Because I know, again, my generation's coming up. We got this whole Famicom, PS2, GameCube, that stuff's going up. What do you think is going to be, I don't know, next? Because I'm thinking it's going to be the PS3 and the 360, but, well, what's your stance?
So the PS3 and the 360 are in a position now that the PS2 was in like 5 years ago, where people still had good memories for it, but it was like recent enough where it's like, oh yeah, I still have that in my garage or something. But there's going to be a lot of broken PS3s and a lot of broken 360s in a couple years just because they run a lot hotter and they don't age as well. The disc drives can go, like I said, they have a lot of heat issues. They'll probably get more expensive, but I don't know if it'll be to the same degree as like Super Nintendo or like Nintendo, just because there were less of them made. Like there's 100 million PS2s or something crazy like that. That's a lot of PS2s, so we'll see.
Now, what's your opinion on modern gaming? Like, what do you think the state of gaming is at? Because, you know, the whole reason why I collect retro games is because a lot of games from back then just seem a lot better. What do you think of modern gaming at the moment?
I think there's good stuff if you know where to look. Indie games are really great. Hades was like my favorite game last year, and that is made by a relatively small team. A lot of the bigger games, you're just going to see a lot of the same things because they want to appeal to the biggest audience possible and make as much money as possible because the budgets are huge. So they're going to just kind of make it boring in the sense where it's nothing like super niche, I guess. I don't know. I think it's kind of samey, especially with like, I don't know if you remember Anthem. It came out like a couple years ago. EA saw that Destiny was doing well, so they were like, "Oh, we're gonna make our Destiny," and it came out and it's like not good. I don't know.
Yeah.
There are good big games like Red Dead 2 was great, Last of Us obviously, that kind of thing. But
it just seems like most companies aren't really willing to take a risk. I mean, look at Jet Set Radio.
yeah,
That was a big game for the Dreamcast, and I don't think that
So
could have
did
been
awesome.
made anywhere else.
yeah. There's a group called Team Reptile that's making a game called
Bomb Rush.
yeah. So there's like indie teams trying to like recapture the magic, which is really cool. But that's where all the really cool stuff is. It's things made in basements and with like 10 people max. Like they started off with Lethal League and it was like this tiny game, and then they got big. So
All right. Now, what do you think of? I know you kind of answered this question before, but like, what do you think like virtual gaming is going to be in the next 20 years or so? Because I mean, I feel like a lot of these consoles aren't really going to last long. I mean, the OG Xbox has its problems with that capacitor thing.
Yeah.
Like, how long do you think this stuff is gonna last before it wipes out? Because I know a lot of people take care of their stuff. It's just, you know.
Yeah, we do a lot of repairs, so I see that kind of thing a lot, especially with like capacitors blowing. Because when they blow, they leak battery acid, and it just kills the board. I think it's going to be a mixture of a couple things. There's like emulation, like we have like the Nintendo Minis and things like that. In like 10 years, I can picture the Nintendo making like a Wii Mini. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing. Because why not? And then there's like emulation that runs on like PCs, which it's how I started playing those things. The real thing's always going to be kind of better, but it's an easy way to like start. There's a lot of really cool development in hardware. Are you familiar with FPGAs?
I am not.
It's really cool. They're called field programmable gate arrays, and basically what they do is that they take the schematics from a system and like basically mirror it to a reconfigurable chip. So if you have like NES games running on this kind of thing, it's like about as accurate as it can be without being like the real thing, which is really cool. And they're expensive, but I think they'll get cheaper.
Yeah, I mean...
Like the analog systems, I don't know if you know what those are.
Yep. So, I mean, I think emulation will become a big thing. It's just, when it comes to emulation, you lose, like, sort of the vibe of the system.
Oh, 100%. Like, it's really cool to play, like, Pokemon Yellow on your phone, but it's not the same.
Right. Like, one game that I've played recently was Chibi Robo.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to get the real thing. Unfortunately, I'd have to lose an arm, and I'd like to get it, so...
It's so expensive now.
Yeah.
It was like a $20 game for the longest time. Nobody
Really?
wanted it, yeah.
And, you know, I'm surprised by that too, because again, I've been collecting for about 2-3 years. Honestly, I like to hear you guys' stories that have been collecting for a long time. I mean, I imagine you guys went to Blockbusters when it first closed down, got a bunch of games.
Yeah, and I remember picking up used N64 games for like $1 a piece.
Hey man, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy to have you, man.
Yeah. Thanks for talking.
No problem. But yeah, this is Region. If you want to, come stop by. It's in Calson Mall, and yeah. So thanks for being here.
Yeah, totally. Thank you.
Alright, hopefully you enjoyed the interview, and hey, if you want to, like, subscribe, do whatever you want to do, no rush. Now tell me down below, what do you think of this whole thing? This is my first time making a video about a local store. Hopefully I didn't fuck up. Well, obviously I fucked up with this interview, but you know, what do you think about this? You want me to show off more retro game stores in my area? Tell me down below. I'll see you guys later. Peace.